What is going on, guys? It's Burgers here and welcome to another Heroes of History Epic Empire video. Today we're going to talk about the Manipulators, one of the misunderstood classes, if I can actually use the right classes in Heroes of History Epic Empire. Now, Heroes of History Manipulators looks interchangeable on paper, but most Heroes of History players are investing into the wrong support and control heroes for their actual game mode. And it's not only the manipulators, it's also the support heroes. Maybe if I can sum up these two heroes, because let's be honest, everybody know what the tank are doing. You know, the main purpose of the tank is to tank, to bring this sustainability of your legions on the battlefield. Also, you know, to be a shield for your team. The healers is the healers. They're basically healing the tanks and the rest of the heroes. And finally, we're having the AoE damage dealers and single target damage dealers. We all know that this is basically multiple target hitters and a single target hitters. So we all know that classes, tanks, healers, single, multi-target hitters. But what about the supports and the manipulators? This is the two classes that can make or break your account. And I don't joke. I really don't joke. This is very, very important. Very important heroes. Now you're going to have three main ingredients for the perfect team. You're going to need one tank, you're going to need one healer, and you're going to need one AoE damage dealer. It can be whatever AoE damage dealer, like Maiherpri, for example. This is just an example. But the other two can be manipulators or can be support heroes. Now, your frontline is dying for a reason. Now, some of the players in Heroes of History blame tanks instead of weak manipulator structure. What I mean by that is, one of my favorite heroes is Medusa. Why is that? She's not a tank, she's not a healer, she's not a AoE damage dealer or area of effect or a single target. She's manipulator. What the Medusa is doing, I'm just giving some example with Medusa, but you can make the association with some other heroes that you're currently having. So the Medusa, what she's doing is having this 2.5 second stun, reducing the attack speed of the target by 10% for 8 seconds. 8 seconds is a lot. Also is doing 504% poison damage. This is crazy. Yeah, I know it's level 39, okay? Soon it's going to be level 40, this spell. But I invest a lot in the Medusa. The reason behind is that powerful for me. First of all, initial charge is 4.2 seconds, which is very fast. The regular charge is more slower, but the initial charge is very fast. And what is happening in the fights? Let me just take out this thing. Is my Caesar, for example, taunt everybody. We'll start doing some damage. It can be also King Minus. Now, Caesar are having this 3 seconds invisibility, basically not receiving any kind of damage. King Minus is having 1,1000% shield. But at one point, everything are done there. You know, the shield is going to drop, the invisibility is going to finish. It's like 3 seconds. From there is coming my manipulator, and this is my Medusa. I can immediately stun all the targets because of the taunt of the Caesar and King Minus, everything is going to be stuck at one place. I can do and hit with my manipulator and stun the target, do crazy amount of damage, and for 2.5 seconds I can give time for a shocker, which, you know, is having also decent charging initial and regular charge, is very fast healer, to actually heal my hero and this hero to survive somehow. Or I can keep the troops stuck at one place, so my Menace or my Maiherpri can do crazy amount of damage over these stunned targets that are also receiving poison damage from my Medusa. So you see how one Manipulator can make or break your game, and how even knowing that the tanks, the healers, and the AoE damage dealers is the in the center or the core of your five hero team, your team can be built also around one manipulator. Same for the support. Other example I can actually give you where the support can make or break your game, and this is, for example, Abraham Lincoln. He's having this invisibility. So at the moment, I actually use Lincoln manually when I do Tesla Storm. When the Tesla Storm are trying to strike with the lightning, I put this invisibility on all of my heroes. When I see the enemy Robin Hood is close to get full charge and is going to shoot somebody, or if the enemy Bondika is going to shoot somebody, some single target damage dealer that is going to do heavy damage and it may actually kill my hero, this is the moment where the Abraham Lincoln shine. He's going to give this invisibility. He's going to save my heroes. And you can even taunt like two spells, even 3 spells from the enemy team, which is absolutely wild. And this support can make or break your game, like my Medusa. But yeah, just many people think and blame the tanks when the tank is just part from this whole composition. Now, control heroes determine whether damage dealers survive long enough is also important. Some of the control, obviously, I give an example with Medusa. Maybe I'm going to select just manipulators. The other one is, which I cannot say is that good, is Karl Marx, but one of the new heroes that I get as manipulators is Maiherpri. Maiherpri deals some damage, but increase the amount of damage the target take from all sources by 30%. This is how to say, a game changer. Just an S tier hero, and it's manipulator again. Now, single target damage cannot compensate for missing battlefield control. Manipulators define battlefield stability more than most players actually realize. I give you some examples with my Medusa. I give you some examples with the Abraham Lincoln. But wrong support investment weakens every hero on the account indirectly. So if you don't have supports, if you don't have manipulators, this is basically affecting your account at the end of the day, and it is what it is. I mean, it's not only healers and damage dealers. This can help you very well to focus over just tank, healers, and damage dealers at the early stage of this game. At the early stage. When you go further, you're going to face more stronger heroes. You're going to face heroes like Cleopatra in the arena at one point. You're going to face some other heroes that are, you just need buffers and debuffers at the end of the day. If you want to, compete with this type of people. Now, manipulators are not universal heroes. I want to point out this thing. Manipulators get value differently depending on the content structure entirely. Now, even though that I like my Medusa that much, I can say maybe Medusa is one of the heroes that is for all kind of content, because it's also good for the PvP, but her AoE is not going to be that important if you're fighting only against heroes. So she's maybe good for contents where there is a lot of troops and heroes, and there is a lot of pressure over your tank, but maybe not that good if there is just enemy heroes. These enemy heroes can actually do single target damage, which is way more valuable from the Medusa AoE damage at the end of the day. Campaigning fights reward sustain and wave control more heavily. This is the other thing, is with the campaignings, for example, you're going to have some waves. With these waves, with each wave you just have to survive. Now on the first wave it may actually kill your front hero's troops. You know, you start with your 3 troops at the beginning. After the first wave, most likely you don't have some kind of troops. After the second wave, you don't have any kind of troops. Maybe some of the heroes can be dead. And the final one is you just have to survive. This is like 3 waves. So this is more and more often what I see in the game. As you can see here, we're having like 3 waves. And in these 3 waves, I don't remember when was the Robin Hood and when was the Hughes, but 3 waves. You basically have to survive 3 waves, which is a lot of troops at the end of the day. Now, hard campaigning stages demand survival consistency over burst damage. This is the other thing. Now, for this type of campaignings, I'm actually using 2 tanks. I use Julius Caesar and King Minos, or sometimes I use Tutankhamun, strongly depend. But Julius Caesar is having 2.3 initial charge. King Minos is 2.7. So King Minos taunt first. After this, Julius Caesar take the troops and etc. The very hard campaignings, I'm doing them with two tanks. Sometimes 1 tank and 2 healers, or 2 tanks and 1 healer. I still have to have some damage to do a damage over the enemies. Arena battles punish slow support and delay battlefield influence. Now for the arena, I can say everything there is, it should be very fast. It should be very fast. Now, even though that I really like, for example, heroes like Benjamin Franklin. Okay, he was not, yeah, he's actually here. Benjamin Franklin, I really like this hero, but it's very slow. Initial charge 7.2 seconds, regular charge 16 seconds. It's just slow. It's not for the arena. It's Manipulator. Some people are going to say, but Burgas, he is very good for the arena. Explaining me how prevent all enemies from using their abilities for 2.5 seconds, which is fine, okay. This is very good, by the way. Reduce the accuracy, reduce the attack speed, reduce the attack by 30%. This is all good for 8 seconds, but till he actually managed to trigger his spell. And by the way, 8 seconds is very nice. So the moment the initial charge finish after 7.2 seconds, if you and he, you know, apply all these reductions for 8 seconds till all these things here finish, you're going to be able to do a regular charge. Actually, not regular charge. It's just going to be for 50% from the time the enemy is going to have these debuffs, which I cannot say is something crazy, but it's slow hero. It's just a slow hero at the end of the day. I know some people are going to write in the comments, but Burgas, this is not right, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I face this hero a lot. There is a reason he is level 1. Maybe I'm going to try to fit him somewhere in the future, but right now I just have some other heroes with higher priority from the Benjamin Franklin. Okay, so let's talk about some other heroes. Where is the Elizabeth? No, not this one. Okay, this is Catherine. Catherine. Oh my god. Okay, this is Cleopatra, Lady 6. Let me check it out. But yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the Karl Marx and Plato. Now, this is some of the heroes that I want to talk about. Now, Karl Marx is, this is Plato, and this is Karl Marx. Now, why I don't like that much those heroes? Now, Plato, giant value through battlefield positioning and utility timing. We're going to start first with the Plato. What this bad boy is doing, for the people who don't know: reduce the accuracy of the enemy by 10% for 8 seconds. Reduce the attack of all enemies by some percentage, 19 seconds, and deals total of 34 poison damage to all enemies. Now, To be fair, this is extremely bad spell. I mean, it's, even though it's for all the enemies, this is just accuracy, little attack, and the poison damage is very low. It's just very low. So yeah, I really don't like Plato. The other hero that I don't like is I actually was thinking good for Karl Marx, but yeah, Marx scales differently depending on the formation and enemy pressure structure. Reduce the accuracy of the enemy with the radius of 2. So you see, Plato is going to affect everybody on the battlefield. On the other side, the Karl Marx is going to do it on the enemies in the radius of 2 at the location with the most enemies by 30. So you see 3 times more accuracy is reduced for 8 seconds. The attack is reduced by 71%, which is very high, and deals total of 10% burn damage. Here, we don't care that much about this burn damage, but the 71% of his attack and 30% accuracy reduction is crazy. So I can say, you know, Karl Marx and Plato is having 2 different rows. Now, cover advantage matter less than actual row executions sometimes. And you're going to see this over and over again. Sometimes, you know, you can go and try to... When you're making your team, you're going to see there is like 2 green heroes here and 1 red hero, so maybe it's going to be good for go with yellow or purple. I'm actually going to try to do this this fight here. So I have like 2 yellow heroes. Maybe I'm going to take out this one, and I'm going to put Joan of Arc, even though she's level 50. We have Ashoka, we have Medusa, and we have Maiherpri. This is 2 AoE with 1 tank, and let's see how the things will go. Again, I don't remember why I didn't actually win this fight here, but yeah, you see the Medusa and Maiherpri damage is just crazy. And here we're going to have Joan of Arc also doing some damage and doing some healing at the end of the day. Maiherpri is very fast damage dealer. We get some healing from the Ashoka the Great. Right now we just have to finish before we trigger. Now I put it on auto because I like to do my fights on auto. Sometimes I decide to go on manual when I see it's very hard. Now this is the stage where we have to survive somehow. And here comes this guy. Now Robin Hood is going to try to hit soon. We have 2 Neas. Oh my god. Oh brother, this is so close to get killed, you know. And soon the Robin Hood is going to fire up. It's going to hit the Maiherpri. Maiherpri immediately just die. But yeah, it is what it is. Right now we have 1 Robin Hood and we're having 2 Neas. It's going to be very hard. Why my Medusa actually triggered just 1? Oh my god, the Robin Hood is going to hit again. Oh my god, the Medusa is dead. Now this is the thing with the single shooters. You cannot actually count over the heroes with AoE damage because the single shooters is going to destroy you, okay? And right now I'm entering in the final phase with 3 heroes. I still believe I'm going to survive here, to be fair. But yeah, it is what it is. Just Joan of Arc have to do the damage here. Or maybe I'm not going to be able to survive. I don't know. King Minos is going to do this one. Yeah, I may not actually survive right now. It is what it is, guys. Oh my god, this is very close. Or I may actually survive. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to survive because right now we are getting more HP, more shields, and etc. King Minos is no longer in the danger zone to get killed. Joan of Arc is going to kill this Quester on the top with... Okay, it's actually close to get killed, and yeah, finally we managed to do it. But you see how the hero composition is working, and the buffers and the debuffers. how the things are working at the end of the day. But never underestimate the manipulators and the supports. They are make or break your game. If I didn't have the Medusa, most likely from the beginning I was going to be close to get destroyed on the wave 2, and I managed to finish the wave 2 just because of the Medusa and the stun she's doing. So I'm going to put one video here, guys. You can go and check it out. Other video about Heroes of History Epic Empire. Don't forget to hit one like. Also, if you want to directly support my channel, you can become a member and get early access to my member-only videos and also my streams. I wish you a great day and see you in the next video.